Recently on Cultural United, Justin's podcast that he has, Curtis King made a very interesting point in covering controversial public figures. New media creators in hip hop and everywhere else for that matter have a responsibility to showcase the attention to popular and potentially historic figures during figures doing reprehensible things.
God forbid that this is the beginning of the end, and I mean the end for Kanye. I could see a time removed where people look back on him and say, was he really that bad? Your voice, all of our voices are so important, especially if we have opposition to it. Not because of, I understand the idea of amplifying it and giving him what he wants, which is attention, but I don't think that he's understanding the other side of this. There are intelligent voices in this room that are bringing attention to things that will give somebody an entirely different perspective 50 years from now. Like I have it on my board. I have to remind myself whenever I'm like, damn it, do I want to drag myself here to do another Drake video about this lawsuit? And I say, yes, you do. For two reasons. One, you want to retire your mama this year. And two, there's going to be somebody who's going to look back at this time period. And I would hate for it to be one of these head ass YouTubers that I don't agree with. You know what I'm saying?
You 100% right. And I want you to retire my auntie too.
Let's go.
But Moni, it's not my ministry. I'll let y'all do it.
You can retire my auntie too.
Shout out to Curtis and Moni.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Everybody on Culture United.
That's what's up.
Absolutely. So with that being, I mean, it's your show. Do you want to talk about it first?
I mean, I think I said it in that episode. I'm struggling with this latest Ye crash out. Call it marketing, whatever, but this is darker. Mm-hmm. He is punching down. He is, making fun of kids with disabilities. He is fat shaming. He is wearing Nazi stuff everywhere. Yeah. He is pushing swastikas and whatever. And I guess probably there's a point being made, perhaps, hopefully, other than this album that's out.
That's what it is.
But I think that I actually think it's destructive. And this is actually the first time I feel like something Ye is doing is coming from a very weak place. Mm-hmm. Like he is pushing swastikas when we have literal Nazis in the White House. Yep. Like they have legislative control of things.
Yeah, for sure.
They got rid of the segregation clause that
in public contracts.
For public contracts. There's a Mississippi bill that was trying to legalize slavery for illegal immigrants, put them in jail forever if you get caught being a legal immigrant. They've gotten rid of AP African American studies in schools across the South.
Facts.
The things that they're doing are extremely Confederate, and the Nazis literally benchmarked the Confederacies. And here is arguably the most important artist of the past this century, outwardly pushing swastikas for whatever reason. Yeah. And let's say there's the most altruistic sense. Mm-hmm. Let's say the most altruistic sense he is trying to water down swastikas the way the N-word has been watered down in our community. Let's say he is doing that so that other people can feel what black people feel when other people fight to say the N-word or whatever, right? Well, it's not enough. The most altruistic ways to look at this at this point in time, when he has been he's completely independent now. Mm-hmm. He's independent on his fashion side and his music side. And this is what he is promoting, along with all the right-wing victimhood manosphere stuff.
Right.
And we have literally people who are trying to go back to Jim Crow situations. Mm-hmm. It's tough for me to decide whether or not it's important for me to cover the crazy stuff he's saying. Yep. And then turn around and be like, oh, here's his music. You guys want to listen to it? I struggle with that, And as you can see, between Moni and Curtis, they're on two different sides of the fence.
For sure.
I'm so the same way. It's a different place.
Yeah, I'm the same way because I've pretty much championed Kanye as my guy the whole time we've had this podcast, because I rock with Kanye, but to your point, this latest situation is different. It doesn't feel right. I mean, I have a conscience. I have
morals and shit.
You know what I'm saying? So this just
That
ain't
part.
it for me, man, and it doesn't sit right to the point where I can't support it. And what Curtis King said, as far as being able to get ahead and out there over the other voices that are hyping him up still, because we live in a time now where it doesn't matter what you do, somebody's going to applaud you regardless. And this is going on in real time. I feel like this is an experiment. It's almost like he wants to see what all he can do and get away with and still be successful. The Bully album is #1 on YouTube as far as streaming right now, regardless of all the shit he said over the past month leading up to its release. It's not even a finished album. It's just a Kanye project that he was like, I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to talk this shit. Yeah, my shirts got taken down. I'm going to be on the phone with Puff Daddy after he denounced him. Like when he was on
Drink Champs.
Drink Champs, he was pretty much talking about him and Lucian, and now he's on Diddy's side. He's just way far gone, man, and it's like I can't embrace that anymore. So to his point, it's almost like it has to be voiced that me being a person on this show that has voiced my support for Kanye, I think it has to be known that I don't support what he's doing, regardless of whatever he makes. Even if I do decide to listen to the music, you still have to explain why he's a piece of shit right now. You know what I'm saying?
I think it was Curtis. I don't know if it was on this stream or if it was maybe another one where he mentioned about him being an artist and he can't separate. I think it actually was this one. Like he can't separate the art from the artist because when you are in this space, you are talking about who you are.
Yeah. There's an artist called R. Kelly. Well, that people are having an issue with. You know,
I mean, R. Kelly did make AJ done with a number.
I mean,
yeah,
we've had lots of conversations.
He's been giving you clues for 25 years.
That's
a bar. That's a bar.
I mean, since like 2017, 18, I don't remember. I've been pretty much anti-Kanye, and I was a huge Kanye West fan for a very long time. But like, there's, you know, it's hard for me to vouch for certain stuff. But this was the first argument that I've heard anybody made to where I was like, that actually makes sense. Like, I was like, okay.
I think there's a difference in, you know, because like I said, I've been off Kanye for a minute. You know, I just saw a level of hypocrisy in a lot of the things he said. And one of the things where I really checked out was I remember we talked about it maybe 200 episodes ago where I said, I hope he's not using God's word as a hustle.
Right.
And as far as I'm concerned, that's exactly what he did.
Yep.
You know, the whole gospel and born again Christian and evangelical Kanye
Sunday service
was, I think all of that was a hustle. And when he realized
his first hit was Jesus Walks, though.
I mean, but once he realized Jesus wasn't giving him exactly what he wants, he's back and people who are of the church know he's back just in the world, you know. And once he got what he could get out of Jesus and that evangelical side, Kanye, you know, whatever. Now he's just back doing stuff that has nothing to do with the word of God.
It to me, it just always feels like he's doing some sort of promotional run.
So
to the extreme.
I've been saying it for years.
I think what we, you know, and you know, because we've had conversations about whether or not we even want to talk about Kanye West anymore, especially when it's not
a lot.
You know, yeah. But I think we need to talk about it maybe in context of the damage that it could be doing and where it is affecting society and the people when we see, okay, who is he catering to and how are they potentially being hurtful to not only people that we know, but in people that we care about, because we have to talk about it in those contexts as well. Because we just can't talk about it in the context of, oh, does this slap? Because at this point, we're way past that because slavery was a choice. You know, Harriet Tubman just had slaves working for other people. You know, he's got like I said, you know, y'all are new slaves, despite the fact that, you know, once again, I've said it before, Kanye West is the one that's obsessed with European cars, European clothes, and European women.
Talk to him.
And I just am at that place where, like, the things he says and the influence that he has, because once again, there's so many people who are just influenced by the fashion, the ridiculous and almost cartoonish displays of wealth, you know, and the access to celebrity that they don't care what he says and what he does. They'll try to say, oh, there's something else behind that. And maybe the something else behind that is he's just jerk. and he's mean spirited, and and he really believes these anti-Semitic, honestly anti-black things that he's saying, and we can't just view these things out of context because we really loved spaceships and Jesus walks, and that's the conflict for me, because like I said, I still love those records, but I almost feel like the person who made those records left us a long time ago.
I think to your point about and then I'll get out the way, but you mentioned about, the space that we're in right now, like the internet is very highly right wing right now. Like there was a study done recently that like pinpointed all of like the biggest media pieces or personalities / resources, and it's like right wing, and then a left wing person in here. But it's like there needs to be
a normalizing of this.
Well, there needs to be some sort of counter to that out there, at least available, even if it can't compete with it. There has to be something, in my personal opinion.
Kanye did the interview with Academics.
Did he actually do it?
Yeah. And Academics said he wore a black Klansman outfit.
Oh, my God.
And he said that when he went to the hotel room, Kanye had a bag that only had 3 things in it. I can't remember what one of them is, but one was a black Klansman outfit, and the other was a white Klansman outfit for the conversation. Now, I detached emotionally from Ye when he put the red hat on. When he said slavery was a choice, that's when I was like, man, I can't be this invested anymore.
Yeah.
He's provided me all kinds of inspiration and motivation at various points in time. He worked at the Gap. I worked at the Gap.
Me too.
It was great to hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I stopped being emotionally connected to whatever he was doing. And truthfully stopped defending him in the same way. I just kind of watch and read.
Yeah.
And, you're right about that. The broader culture is extremely right wing. It's extremely Confederate. It's extremely Nazi.
People like to be associated with a winner, and that's right. For whatever reason, those seem to be the people winning right now.
And the people who crash out the most, like the trolls, the biggest trolls.
Absolutely.
Those are the ones who don't really seem to have repercussions.
Yeah.
Because, that is the energy of the era. You have Happy Dad, who was thanked by the Trump administration after he was during his victory party. Happy Dad sponsors a lot of right-wing stuff. You look at, Drake and Happy Dad and Steak, or Academics and Happy Dad, or you look at Joe Rogan, and you look at whoever, the biggest media outlets are that.
Yeah.
So he has a lot of voices that agree with him. And I personally think that it's really sad to see, because for the first time, I can't see the spin that somehow this is helpful to any community, to be honest. Generally speaking, I could see it, especially like with the last time he went all anti-Semitic. I could see him trying to get out of his contracts, trying to be fully independent. I could at least see that, right? A lot of times they'll kick you out of the contract if you don't represent the company.
Certain way.
Morals clauses.
Right. Yeah. Morals clauses, right. And he got his IP back. I could see that. Whether I think that's something necessary to do, it's irrelevant. I can see that. I can't even see this.
Nah, it makes no sense.
I can't see it past his album being called Bully. I can't see it past him trying to water down a swastika. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The swastika hurt a lot more than just Jewish people.
Come on, man. It's a bar.
It's not like when I see it that I'm like, oh no, they're not talking about me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
they hate us most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. And so it's a real struggle, right? Because at the same time, it is news, right? It is news because it's him, right? It's like if Trump goes and says a bunch of crazy stuff. Like there's a theory from a right-wing media standpoint called flood the zone, where the Trump administration is passing all these executive orders, just doing all this crazy stuff to get the headlines all mixed up while they sneak in the most important things or things that are most crucial. And to me, this is an example of Ye flooding the zone. I just don't see anything of value coming out of it. Like, I mean, he wants me to feel bad for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he wants, because there's so much victimhood in this, right?
there
like,
is.
he's like, oh, you gonna let these white women take my black kids? Kanye,
You're still married to a woman.
you're right.
Yeah.
What are
And you act
talking
like
about?
you act like this white woman just showed up out of nowhere and was an influence on your child. This was your wife.
Right, and you were telling me white lives matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
Oh my God.
that's what you were telling me.
That's what you have a shirt. You and Candace Owens was out there with the
I'm
Pick a
not,
team.
what? Yeah.
right.
It's wild.
like,
Bro.
This seems like the only outcome that I ever saw happening, and now I'm not sure if I should be mad at this white lady because you want to put your daughter on a song with Diddy.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like the whole thing is all mixed
He's
up. and
gone,
messy.
man.
Bro, this whole thing is nauseating, man, because we've, like to Lone's point, and you all have said, we've discussed whether we should just talk about this ever or bring any of this stupid shit up. And I've always said that he's just an attention whore. He needs attention. Everything is done for him to get attention. Either it's going towards an album, which I still have said for years. But to Jay Moore, what I was going to say to that was, even if it's guided somewhere else, there's always something going on. And I think everything is based off attention. And what Curtis King said, I never thought about that, about the responsibility to help correct history, right? I never thought about it like that. It's like, I don't want to feed him. I don't want to give him what he wants.
Right.
That's been my side. This dude is an idiot. I don't care. But when he broke it down like that, that's the first time I actually had to think about it, because he talked about the YouTubers that he may not agree with, or I can't remember the phrase that he used, but they have a voice.
Yeah.
They can help tell the story.
They are definitely going to help tell the
The
story.
right-wing
It's the
hip-hoppers.
difference. It's the difference. It's the same-
100%.
It's the same thing with a Fox News and a CNN.
Yeah.
Fox is going to report what they want to report, and they're going to report it the way that they want to report it. Whereas a CNN, they'll report it differently. It'll still say the same thing, but it'll be given to you in a different, you know what I'm saying, different tone, and is going to highlight different things versus I'm just going to pick and choose, and
I don't
we're
even
going to
consider
agree
Fox
with
News
everything.
news.
Right, but unfortunately,
But-
a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Like we're kind of the anomaly here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
To your point, you're
no, I
saying
mean, like,
the right
even-
media, right? You know
I
what
mean,
I'm saying?
it's a deeper conversation.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, every outlet has a point of view.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't expect an outlet to not have a point of view.
Yeah.
I
this is
definitely want a point of view.
Yeah. Otherwise,
This is the first time I've actually thought about how important the counter argument is. I never really thought about it like that, bro, until we just watched this video. And I believe he has a very valid
That's
point
a great point.
about how important that is and how detrimental the other creators or content creators could be, you know,
or
to
even
the
just the
story.
messaging.
The messaging, yeah. I agree with it.
Or
I
just
actually
a,
do.
you know, and there's just been a couple when I watch certain content creator. I think the cat's name is Ray Daniels. I like enjoying his content, but he's like, he's almost trying to, every time Kanye does something, he's trying to shoot him some bails. Like, oh, there's a bigger plan here. And I think even of all people, Whack 100 said the same thing, you know, when he's like, you know, what is he really doing with this swastika thing? And it's like, he's just
Exactly
wearing
what you
he's
see.
just wearing a swastika
Exactly what you see.
on a Sunday afternoon in Los Angeles. Like,
Yeah.
let's not make it seem like, oh, this is, you know, it's layered. You know, he's just doing this for either attention. I think it burns Kanye up to see, you know, because I almost think that some people could make an argument that Kendrick is doing what Kanye thought he was doing.
Oh, he wants attention
And,
from Kendrick
you know,
so
it's
bad.
to see him be able to have the message that he has be so commercially successful and then be on the Super Bowl, and, you know, Jay, who's supposed to be his man, is the person who controls all of that. And
Yep.
I think it burns him up, you know, that this guy's getting this much attention and being, you know, getting a Pulitzer Prize. I remember when Kanye West was on the cover of Time magazine, like the smartest person in hip hop, and, you know, through just the evolution of the culture or his own actions, like, he knows that is never going to come back to him, and he sees it being given to somebody else, and I think that burns him up. I think that's part of it. I think he's extremely jealous of Kendrick Lamar, and on top of, like, you know, like he keeps bringing up what people have done to him. This is very much about him feeling like a victim in this.
You know,
His list of people are all people that aren't yes men
There
in
it
his
is.
circle.
Yeah.
His list of people that he don't rock with, if you look at it, they're all people that have either alienated him and don't rock with him anymore based off his actions.
Yep.
He doesn't like people that actually take, you know what I'm saying, represent what they've put out there. He feels like anything that I do, you're supposed to rock with me if you were cool with me at some point in time. And that's just not the case because you're not good for my brand, so to speak.
Common's not gonna get them Microsoft commercials with hanging out. You got a swastika T-shirt on. That's not gonna work.
No,
Yeah,
it doesn't work.
It's also very disrespectful to me.
Yeah,
to expect other people to jump on your reoccurring train wrecks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like if he can't see how branding himself or rocking the brand of some of the most destructive ideas and
human
movements in human history.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. I'm not mad at Ty Dolla $ign for not wanting to hang out with
You know what's
Black Nazi sign. I'm sorry.
You know what's crazy? The Kanye stan will insult your intelligence by telling you, and I don't know if you've seen this, that's why I want to say, I'd be curious to see what you say. The one I always hear is, Kanye is 10 years ahead in his thinking. Y'all just don't understand what he's doing. There's always a secret plan here or there. He's playing chess. And I'm like, man, shut up.
Kanye
Well,
doesn't
generally
articulate
that's
like
true though.
But with this,
Not this time.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
can't see it this time.
It's not
'Cause
there,
it's
bro.
also redundant.
thank you.
This
Yeah, that's the other
He's
piece.
not doing something new. It's not a new.
yeah.
It's not, there's nothing
Thing.
innovative here for
Right.
what you're doing.
He did this already.
Thank you. Thank you.
He's just being more extreme. Like,
Right.
It's just
And
it's
just
weird.
he's just louder, more hurtful.
Without something of substance that you can say other people can connect to. Like maybe aspiring Nazis can connect with this, but every other time I could at least see a guy who is fighting for his own independence against big power structures.
Mm-hmm.
Now I see a guy talking about kids and their disabilities.
Come on, man.
Like,
That's-
that's different.
There's not 6 layers for that. There's nothing. That's what it is. You just
If you're hoping in 10 years it'll be cool to wear a swastika T-shirt to a Dodgers game, like if that can't be your end game with this sort of
He
thing.
tried this experiment already with the Confederate flag.
facts.
You know what it might be and shouts to Gutter Queen with this comment.
Love that name.
I think he wants to get right-wing praise. I've heard a lot of leftist content creators mention, like, if I really wanted to just blow up, all I got to do is just say a bunch of random bullshit, like,
That's what Kanye has
and
always
then
did.
it's just going to, so maybe that's the angle. Like, he just needs that.
Does he need that to do?
No,
does he need to
he
do
doesn't.
all this?
He
to do
doesn't.
that?
He doesn't, but that is like the path of least
Is being a
resistance.
billionaire
Yeah.
not enough? Is like he
Well,
needs
no.
some other, somebody else to back him to feel like he's actually valid. And, since he doesn't have all those people on his list that don't sign up for his horse shit, that he's like, well, if I can get some other people to sign up for it, I'll be. And then what are they going to say then?
See, that's where he falls at because somebody of Kanye's stature doesn't realize his ego is actually in the way because he doesn't need to do anything and he's going to be
He
successful.
could just exist.
You know what I'm saying? He doesn't need to do any of this and it's still going to work in his favor because of where he's at in his
'cause
career
you're
and
still
what he's
Kanye
proved.
West.
It's a
Yeah.
shame. It's a shame, really.
That sounds like a person to me that is deprived of the attention that they think they deserve. And I will do anything in my power to get attention.
Now he wants to be a martyr.
What really bothers me is I feel like at this point, Kanye West has the swag of an untalented person.
I ain't heard that one. That's a new one.
That's untalented people. I get it. When you have to do, when you have to shake ass and do stupid shit for people to pay attention to you. You're Kanye West. You have all these Grammys. You have a track record. You've sold millions of records. You could go anywhere across the world. And if you just wanted to perform the records from your first 4 or 5 albums, you could sell out an arena. But you'd rather do this.
And I'm not the one to
If he can book an arena.
yeah. And I'm not the one to, how do I want to say this? Him as a creative, right? Do what you want as a creative. You can do that, but the rest of it leading into what you do is it's more harmful than helpful. Like all this shit is unnecessary. To y'all point, just be Kanye, put new music out, sell your merch, sell your clothes, sell your shoes, and just vibe out. You have the fan. You're a megastar. You have that. The rest of the stuff is unnecessary. That's why I keep going back to the attention argument. You just have to have attention. And by any means necessary, he has to have it. And that's sad.
Unfortunately, it's working because, like I said, he has the #1 streamed video on YouTube right now.
Yeah, that and they pretty much, talked about him every day on the Breakfast Club for all these, it was like, was it wrong for him to talk about Jay-Z's kids? It's like, well, yeah, it's wrong. Like,
why is that even why is that even a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, that's the saddest part to me because I didn't even think about Jay-Z's other kids like that.
nah.
Yeah, me either.
So there is a level of exposing and revealing, putting those kids in, harm's way potentially from the evilness of the internet.
Yeah, because let's just
All
somebody
because
say
of
something about
Ye.
his kids.
And now he's talking about his kids all the time. He don't even care about other people's kids.
No.
Yeah. And
I'm supposed to care about his kids.
and be the first one
He
to
don't
act
care about it while he's talking junk about someone else's kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't even follow the line of thought.
He'd be
You
the
know
first
what I
one to act a fool if somebody talk about his kids.
Right.
But you tweeting about other people's kids and potential disabilities or whatever.
Look,
Come on,
all I
man.
know is, even if there was a thin line of maybe friendship or consideration that Jay-Z could have, for, the times they worked together, that's gone. Like,
Yeah, I think that's been gone with Jay.
Yeah, that's been going for a while. I think.
but there's because there's always a way back. There are people who've always been able to fix relationships with people regardless. But like, you say something about my kids and let's just play devil's advocate. Maybe there is something there. If that's something in confidence because we once were close and you expose that to the world, it's a wrap. What I'm saying? Jay-Z has too much money to come up and just beat your ass because that's what you deserve.
He ain't going. He ain't let Dame back in, so I don't see him letting Kanye back in.
But at
either.
the same time, even when he got his induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he did still acknowledge Dame Dash.
I mean, you damn near have to.
I mean, you
acknowledge him, but I ain't got to rock with you.
Yeah,
to acknowledge you.
That door is closed, though. That door is closed. And I think this one, which I never actually, they've done such great things together. If you would have told me, man, it's going to come a point in time where Jay really not going to rock with Kanye anymore, I'd have been like, nah, whatever it is, like you said, they can fix it. They'll patch it up. I actually think this might be the one that closes it. It's a wrap.
I mean, yeah, completely.
I
It's a
mean,
wrap.
I hope that if I turn into Kanye West, that y'all aren't my friends anymore. Like, I'm just saying.
You notice how his circle changed. It turns into yes men. It just lets him get away and do whatever he wants to do. I mean, this just ain't the case.
I just don't like the victimhood stuff.
Man.
That's the stuff I really don't like. Everything is everybody else's fault. I was watching one of my favorite parts of the Bad Baby Alabama Barker rap beef was that's how I found out Ye was clearing samples.
Yeah, because
she used the sample from Carnival.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked crazy, right? Because now you got Ye clearing a sample for Bad Baby to diss his niece-in-law.
Yeah.
Right? Because Alabama Barker's dad is Travis Barker, who's married to Kourtney Kardashian.
Yeah.
Well, it looked weird. And so he popped up to clarify it. He said, don't put me in none of this. I didn't know what it was. I'm just clearing samples because no one will clear my samples. It's really tough for me right now. Well, you're the one who made it tough. You're
Imagine
the one
that.
who made, like, every step is someone else's doing something wrong.
Because before you went crazy, all those samples got cleared.
Yeah.
I mean, who's clearing a sample for somebody who's going to go up and talk about being a Nazi?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. Like,
Right. I mean, look, I just don't like the victimhood aspect of it.
Yeah.
That's what makes me not respect this
Yeah.
as much.
100%.
Like, I only see a billionaire complaining.
Yeah.
Like, I don't got no room for no complaining billionaires.
No, hell no.
There ain't no ounce of empathy or sympathy for a bill. Sorry, Elon.
Yeah.
All you had to do was not Sig Heil and bring out a chainsaw.
Come on, man.
Things would have been fine.
chainsaw was so weird.
But you
man.
couldn't stay out your own way. You couldn't stay out the way.
That's that entitlement, man.
Yeah, this ain't the Kanye I thought was going to happen when he said, when he get his money right, can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
This wasn't what I was thinking. was
Not at
gonna
all.
happen.
Look, at one point we really thought, for all my Star Wars nerds out there, we thought he was going to be the one to bring the balance to the Force. Because just think about it, at one point, Kanye was making sure where I could hear Slum Village and Dilated Peoples on the radio. And, not only did he not bring balance to the Force, we come to find out he was actually
lying
Darth Vader.
about it or something.
Yeah. It's like, nope, he wasn't the one. So, yeah.
He was Anakin.